Hi, I'm Ryan Welch. I'm the Vice President of Operations for the AWR Group at National Instruments, and I am here today to demonstrate our active content feature that was added in version 13. To use active content, you first will have a website up in your browser of choosing. You will then have the NI AWR design environment open. Go to the Help menu and say Enable Guided Help. Once you've done this, you've told the website which version of Microwave Office to connect to. All of the things I will show are things that we have worked through while creating our knowledge base with active content. One of the first simple ones is to just open an example. So let's say you've gone to our knowledge base, searched. We have over 500 examples, so you may need to search, and you find it. You'll see that the website will show what's in all of that example, and you say, yep, that's the one I want. All you have to do, click the button, and you will see that that example is now open in your software. So fairly simple, but it gets us started with what active content is all about. The second area where we've used active content quite a bit is to import test benches. So test benches are a collection of schematics using subcircuits and then several measurements that are set up for that specific test bench. So in this example, I'm showing a power amplifier that is a single tone with swept power. You'll see the different outputs that are available. Each of the graphs is then labeled, and you'll see each one here is listed as a link. If you click on the link, what it will do is take you to the help page within Microwave Office for that measurement. Then you decide, okay, yep, I want this test bench. Click the Import Test Bench. A dialog comes up saying that 3 schematics and 11 graphs were successfully imported into your project. When you go view the project, you'll see that each one of the test bench schematics and graphs are added to a user folder. So here is the test bench and the different graphs that are associated with that test bench. You could have done this previously, but it was quite a few more mouse clicks. This just makes the process a lot easier. Now, some other things that it can do. So we ship in our software many different scripts. We also like to call these utilities. And we document these utilities on our knowledge base. So for a simple one, what I'll do is I just want to open a simple layout here. We have a utility that will just toggle the background color. Some people like to run their layout with black. Some people like to run it with white. It's an easy operation to do through the options, but you need to do the color and the grid, so this has been a really simple but useful script. Where it's useful on the website is that, again, you found this utility, you say, yep, this is exactly what I want. It tells you where you can run it from the menus, or you can just click the button to run it right from this web page. So that's a pretty simple way of running one of the utilities that we ship. A slightly more advanced one is within our design checker. A design checker looks for various things that potentially could be wrong with a design, like using obsolete models, having shorted nodes or open nodes or other things. I won't go through the entire list. I could run this directly from the scripts menu and run the design checker, where a dialog comes up, I run it, and then it takes a while to run. When I'm done, I get a text file that shows me all of the errors I had in my design. Now, these make it fairly difficult to go find all of these. Where the website is advantageous is that, first of all, we can easily document what each one of the errors that we're checking for is, like a shorted circuit element, right? If there's a wire across the 2 nodes of an element, it's shorted. So we can see on the web page more documentation of the check. Now I can also run the check from here, and notice the text here that it says the check is running. Now the results have come back, and you can see the errors are now links. So I can click on each link, and it will then open that view and highlight the element so you can inspect it to see what the error would have been. So in this case, we're actually adding quite a bit more value to the utility by having it be run from a website. A couple other applications that we've got with our active content. We've created a simple getting started guide The thing to notice here is that below this line, there will be new text and new buttons that will be doing things within the software. So notice we start with a blank project, and I'm going to walk you through, or the utility is going to walk you through doing the very basic things within Microwave Office. So first we need to add a schematic, then we need to add some layout, or excuse me, add some elements. We can view the layout. Then we want to simulate. Oh, we can't simulate because we haven't added a graph or a measurement to that graph, so now we do that, and now we simulate. Whoops, there are some errors. Now here's where active content is interesting because it's produced errors, but I can now go inspect those errors within the software. You can see here that it is telling me that the MLIN doesn't have a substrate. I can now interact with the software, like clicking the help link to see what's going on, etc. Where if you were in a static PDF, you wouldn't be able to interact with what was going on in the actual Microwave Office software. This just continues a little bit through a few more things like changing the length and simulating, changing the frequency and simulating, and then actually tuning through the width of that microstrip line. So that was a more interactive guide, but then we also can use this to do application notes. And the advantage, again, of doing application notes is that the software is documenting all of the imagery within the project rather than static pictures within a normal PDF. So here there are a lot of description on how to use temperature within a simulation. The important part, though, is when you need to start seeing what's happening in the software, you click the buttons and it takes you to that next step within the software. So here we're viewing the implicit use of temperature in a schematic, where here we will be using more explicit use of temperature. We can also look at just the various pieces. You can view the different pieces of the application note, but also be able to go and interact with the software while you're working through the application note.